So the next stage is forming contours. Now, some people like to visualize their DTM using contours. They're so familiar with looking at contours that rather than looking at it in a 3D view and looking at these sort of using tools such as the surface slicer view, they'd much rather just quickly visualize contours. So quick contours is a very useful feature where we can just go in there, form quick contours, and it basically just forms contours that are displayed. They're not really designed to be used for a final deliverable, but if I was to go in, one of the advantages is if we were to make an edit, then they're update on the fly. So if I was to choose to, for instance, go in here and go into the surface tab and say the surface members and remove that, then the contours will update. So if I was to remove these two features here, the contours update on the fly. So it's designed to be an aid to your editing rather than a part of a deliverable. Unless, of course, you're just doing something quickly for a draft plot to go into the field, then generally we don't use them for anything other than visualizing the DTM. So once we've used the quick contours, we would generally just want to delete them. So we can go up to the Project Explorer. Under Surfaces, we have our OGL and we have contours, and I can just choose to delete these contours out. And they haven't deleted actually because I've deleted the wrong one. So this is where we've got this problem from the two surfaces that I had. So what we're going to choose here is actually go into the DTM surface and choose to delete these contours. So we can see that this surface that we've got remaining is the one that's called DTM. So the OGL, I'm just going to get rid of altogether. So we've only got one surface there. So if we want to form proper contours for plotting, we go into the Create Contours. It asks me which surface I'm going to use, and it's going to be the surface that I've called DTM. We set our interval, we set our index contour frequency, and we can choose our layer to put the contours on. So I'll put it in the layer called Contours. There's lots of settings in here that we can change, which I'm not going to go into every possible variation. Smooth contours, make them look a little bit nicer, maybe slightly less accurate, but most people would use smooth contours. And then text style. We generally use one of the whiteout options for annotating our contours. So it actually breaks the contour line where the text is. But obviously you can choose to use one of the other text styles. All these text styles are available from us as part of a template. So you don't have to set them all up from scratch. So we've got various other options here. It's going to tell us that we're going to create 11 contours. And if I just hit OK, then we've got much nicer looking contours than we did before. One of the disadvantages of these are very much used to be for the final deliverable. So they don't update on the fly. So if we're just using them to visualize the DTM, we use quick contours. But if I find something just before I want to finalize the deliverable, so for instance, if this is spot level needs to come out of the DTM, if I remove it, then the contours are not updated automatically. So what I need to do is under this Project Explorer, if I've made some edits after forming these contours, we need to right click and choose Rebuild Contours. And you can see that now the contours are rebuilt. So that is pretty much all we want to cover just now on the forming the DTM and producing contours. And the next stage would be to actually export deliverables.